Well, I started off, as a chemistry major in college. Thought I would develop a fireworks factory, but people discouraged me from doing that. They thought it was, a bad idea. And I was strong enough in biological sciences that I was kind of, steered towards going, to medical school. But in the meantime, in college, I was introduced to a number of the sort of cutting edge consciousness study sort of classes that were happening in the late 60s, early 70s. Sleep and dreams and physiological psychology. And at at Stanford University, which is where I took my undergraduate training, there was a sort of a fledgling department of Indian Buddhism. So I was able to learn about Buddhism and meditation, as an undergraduate in the 70s, which at the time was rather rare. Um, so just the sort of the confluence of things started me, well, and also at the same time on college campuses was the beginning of the psychedelic 60s and the 70s. Everybody was tripping, everybody was talking about the psychedelic experience. Um, so I was struck by how similar a lot of the descriptions of the psychedelic experience seemed to be to descriptions of Buddhist meditation. It seemed in some ways that it was possible to, through application of will and attention, it seemed possible to attain the same states of mind on your own that people were describing as occurring from the use of psychedelic drugs. So I began wondering if there might be some chemical in the brain, like a psychedelic drug, that was behind or was involved with somehow mystical experiences that didn't have anything to do with taking drugs, that might relate to meditation or other other concentration practices, other ways of directing your attention. So around that time, I was introduced to the idea and the reality of the pineal gland, which is a very small organ in the middle of the brain. Um, and one of my professors at Stanford recommended I look into it as a source of a uh, biological process that might be behind naturally occurring mystical or psychedelic states. Um, so that led me to start thinking that the pineal gland, and this was basically, there weren't any biological sorts of data to support this idea, but based on the reading I was doing in the Eastern religious literature, it seemed like the pineal, or some sort of metaphysical correlate of the pineal, one of the chakras, for example, in the Hindu physiological or esoteric physiological system, um, was somehow involved in the generation of an inner light, of the mystical inner light.